What are some differences to you as we look at the history of the 20th century between the Russian intelligence and the American intelligence, the CIA?
If you look at both the Okhrana and the KGB, one of the things that you find consistent is that a single organization handled foreign intelligence, that is, spying upon enemy or hostile governments, and also internal security. So that's all part of it. Whereas if you look at the U.S. model as it evolves, you eventually have the FBI, who under Hoover quite insists that he's going to be the counterintelligence force. Okay, if they're commie spies running around America, it's the FBI who's supposed to ferret them out. The CIA is not supposed to be involved in that. And the charter, the basic agreement in 1947, did not give the CIA any. It's often said they were barred from spying on Americans, which isn't quite true. You can always find a way to do that. What they don't have is they don't have any police or judicial powers. They can't run around in the country carrying guns to use on people. They can't arrest you. They can't interrogate you. They can't jail you. They have no police or judicial powers. Now, that means they have to get that from someone else. That doesn't mean that other agencies can't be brought in, or local police officials, corn, or whatever you need, you can eventually acquire. But they can't do that directly. So you've got this division between foreign intelligence and domestic counterintelligence, often split between hostile organizations. The relationship between the FBI and the CIA, I think it's fair to say, is not chummy. Never has been. There's always been a certain amount of rivalry and contention between the two. And it's not to say that something like that didn't exist between the domestic counterintelligence and foreign intelligence components of the KGB, but there would be less of that to a degree because there was a single organization. They're all answerable to the same people. So that gives you a certain greater amount, I think, of leeway and power because you're controlling both of those ends. I remember somebody telling me once that, and he was a retired KGB officer. There you go. Retired. One of the things that he found amusing was that in his role, one of the things that he could be is that he could be anywhere at any time in any dress, which meant that he could be in or out of uniform and any place at any time. He was authorized to do that.
So more freedom, more power.
I think one of the things that you would often have the view is that, well, the Russians are simply, naturally meaner. There's less respect for human rights. There's a greater tendency to abuse power that one might have. I mean, frankly, they're all pretty good at that. It is fair to say that there's probably some degree of cultural differences, that it not necessarily for institutional reasons, but cultural reasons. There could well be things that Americans might balk at doing more than you would find on the Russian or Soviet side of the equations. The other aspect of that is that Russian history is long and contentious and bloody. One of the things it certainly teaches, you never trust foreigners. Every foreign government, anywhere, any country on your border, is a real or potential enemy. They will all, at some point, if given the chance, invade you. Therefore, they must always be treated with great suspicion. That goes back to something that I think the British observed, is that countries don't have friends. They have interests. And those interests can change over time.
Well, the CIA is probably equally suspicious of all other nations.
That's your job. You're supposed to be suspicious. Your job is not to be trusting. The basic job of an intelligence agency is to safeguard your secrets and steal the other guys, and then hide those away.